Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. On this Friday, I'm pleased to welcome back Eli Lake, who's a contributor to the Free Press. He's the host of the Breaking History podcast and loves history. And so, Eli, of course, you know the era of the Weathermen. I got to campus after it had settled down doing my freshman year in 1974. They were all gone, and revolutionary violence had vanished. It is back now, and our friend Noah Rothman just ran through the categories. There's a lot more on the left than there is on the right. We're discounting uh, schizophrenic or other mental illness driven violence. I just ask you out of the blue, do you think it is rising on the left to the level that it reached in the 60s? And if so, what do we do about it?
Well, I do in the sense that there is at least an attitude among an important plurality. There was a horrifying poll that was released by one of my favorite groups now, the Fire, which fights for free speech on campus, and they said that something like 35% or so of college students now think that violence is appropriate response to speech that you don't like. I'm summarizing. That right there is, kind of goes with some other trends. We saw a number of people, including major politicians, that wouldn't full-throatedly denounce Luigi Mangione and his murder of the United Healthcare CEO.
Brian Thompson.
That
Yeah.
to me, yeah, Brian Thompson. And what that says is this is similar in some ways to that moment of the Weather Underground, but also the Red Army faction in West Germany around the same time when you saw that there were significant numbers of young people who said that they would harbor a fugitive from those organizations or that they supported them. And that's the difference that we're in right now. I think there will always be kooks in America after 9/11. There were disparate voices that were in some sort of solidarity with Al Qaeda, but they really didn't amount to anything. When you see, to sort of take it back, and I have to say, I was heartened by the political response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That was, I think, largely a good thing. Only person I can think of was Matthew Dowd, and then he was fired within hours. But the fact that you have a kind of what appears to be at least a plurality, a significant group of people who are saying that political violence is okay, that's the real problem. Because then that provides a kind of natural constituency, and we're in a really bad place.
So, Eli, Charlie was my colleague at Salem
Yeah.
and a friend, an acquaintance for 12 years. So I'm not objective about this. But I think that what we have heard about the killer thus far leads me to suspect Reddit rabbit holes of the sort
Yeah.
that exist in the dark web and in the subculture. I don't know what the answer. The FBI can't go after every Reddit poster, nor do we
No.
want them in a position to want to do that. So, got any solutions?
Well, I think Charlie gave us a bit of a model here, and that is, you know, we in the business that we use our words to argue for positions, and those of us who are in the sort of journalism influencer in public intellectual space, we have an obligation to continue to try to engage the other side. He modeled that behavior. He died literally debating college students at Utah Valley University. So that to me right there is the first thing, is to not allow the assassin to silence us. And that's important. And I think that the other thing is that there has to start being a kind of self-policing, I would say. I don't want the government involved. I'm uncomfortable with the government involved. It raises a lot of First Amendment issues. But universities have, for generations now, given tenure quite literally to Weather Underground radicals. I mean, we forget this, but because of the FBI's violation of the constitutional rights during their investigation into the Weather Underground, Bernadine Dorn and Bill Ayers went free. And where did they end up for their second act in American life? Bernadine Dorn at Northwestern and Bill Ayers
University of
at
Chicago.
University of Illinois, Chicago
Illinois. You're
campus.
right.
Right. So that right there, the idea of giving tenure and jobs to to professors or academics or intellectuals who have sociopathic views, that has to stop.
Eli, did
And
you read Christopher Rufo's The America's Cultural Revolution? It's
I have
fabulous. It's one of the best
I
intellectual
haven't.
histories I've read in years.
Oh, good. I will. That's a high praise. I would also recommend the book Days of Rage by Brian Burrow, which is a great recounting of the American side of this. There are some very good books as well on the Red Army faction, but that's the history. That's the context. Is that there has to be kind of a wake up call, and university presidents have to grow some stones. And it's not just the universities. There has to be kind of say we will not tolerate people who glorify violence in any way. And then the other part of it is let's all try to tone down the rhetoric a little bit. It's been for 10 years, you have the liberal Democratic Party saying that Trump is Hitler. Well, some disturbed people are going to say, take that literally. And that's another huge problem.
Eli Lake, on that note, thank you. I look forward to a breaking history on the
Thank
Weathermen
you.
and where they